Ozgood, Audiobooks.
478 by Goth Ozgood. When Mark was 7, his father took him for a drive up the northeastern coast of Massachusetts to the town of Rockport. The reason for the day trip was simply to go out to eat at a seafood restaurant. The drive took about 2 hours, and the scenery along the way was new to Mark. Although some of the places did seem vaguely familiar, as if maybe he had been taken there a long time ago, but was too young to remember it. They drove past saltwater marshlands and small coastal towns, past marinas filled with sailboats and small sand dunes. Before he knew it, the car was pulling into the gravel parking lot, cram-packed with vehicles. The restaurant was right on the water, and had both indoor and outdoor dining. The entire place was covered in deep-sea fishing nets, and had lobster traps all over the roof. The scent of deep-fried seafood, French fries and ketchup wafted through the air. Mark and his father entered the waiting area. 2 bubbling, saltwater pools, filled with lobsters and Dungeness crabs, kept Mark occupied, while the line of customers slowly crept along. Eventually, they did get seated, and the fisherman's platter was worth the wait. It was a happy moment for Mark. Golden deep-fried scallops, dipped in tartar sauce, fried clams, fried shrimp and deep-fried haddock fillet, all piled high, on top of French fries. 2 lemon wedges and a parsley sprig sat next to a little plastic container of cocktail sauce, and an overflowing paper tub of coleslaw. It was one of Mark's favorite meals, and the hustle and bustle of the popular tourist trap made it all feel special. After the meal was finished, and the check was paid, Mark and his father left the area. They spent the rest of the afternoon driving, and eventually, Mark fell asleep in the back seat of the car. They drove all the way to Danvers. The brown Lincoln Continental headed down Route 62 to Maple Street. The sun was beginning to set and the sky was turning hot pink. Mark was jolted awake by a bump in the road. He sat up, rubbed his eyes and looked out the open window as the car slowed to a stop. They were at a 4-way intersection, waiting for the red light to turn green. A warm summer breeze carried the scent of distant flowers. Hints of car exhaust blew into Mark's face. "Where are we?" Mark asked. That's when his father pointed to the horizon. A massive kingdom of red brick towers sprawled across the skyline. At first Mark thought it was some sort of monstrous cathedral. Then he began to wonder why all the windows were covered with black iron bars. Was this a prison? The sheer size of the building was a mysterious and horrifying sight to behold. Mark had never seen such a place before. His father blurted out, "That's where your mother is," pointing at one of the highest towers. It was the extent of his explanation. A loud honk startled both of them. An 18-wheeler truck had pulled up extremely close to the rear bumper. The gleaming chrome grille took up the entirety of the rear window. The light had turned green. Mark's father pushed the accelerator in a calm, collected manner, even though Mark could sense his father's frustration. The veins on either side of his father's forehead were visibly pulsing. Despite being in the center lane, they took a sharp left turn, cutting off an entire lane of traffic. A man, with sunglasses and a handlebar mustache, began to scream vulgarities from the driver's seat of a green station wagon. Mark's father completely ignored the man. He was busy overcorrecting the trajectory of the Lincoln Continental. They took the on-ramp and hit Interstate 95. The ominous red tower shrank into the distance until only a tiny silhouette remained. It faded from sight. They drove straight home, in awkward silence, and didn't discuss the matter any further. That's what Mark remembers. It wasn't until a few years later that Mark began to understand what that place actually was. It was an insane asylum.